I need you to understand this part, that you cannot treat yourself like this. Hey, thanks again for stopping by. I really appreciate you being here. So today we're going to talk about self-compassion. What is the problem with lacking self-compassion? And we'll discuss what you will attain with deeper self-compassion. So, what is the problem with lacking the self-compassion? Imagine you have a friend, and for whatever reason, your friend cannot take care of his or her child anymore. And your friend approaches you and asks for you to take care of that child. So you genuinely agree to help. You take the kid home, you do all the necessary stuff that a caregiver needs to do in order to care for a child, which is, the school, the homework, assigning some tasks for errands and, clean up around the house or whatever, just so that you can raise a responsible, independent, and valuable member of the society, a good individual. Up to this point, everything is good, but then what you notice in your own behavior is as soon as you get some resistance from the kid, you start this stream of negativity, which is you start telling your kid that, oh, you're dumb, you're so stupid, like, why would you do this? You also notice that you always compliment his or her friends, but never the child himself that you're caring for. You never compliment, you never hug, you never show love, but you always do when it comes to his or her friends. And you also notice that when the kid opens up and quietly tells you about a secret, or that kid maybe wants to pursue a bigger goal, something that is more ambitious, and what you say is, oh, that's just stupid, you will never be able to achieve that, and you should go back to your room and do your homework, do your school stuff, that's more important, that's the real stuff. Stop dreaming about higher achievements and higher goals. That's not for you. What the hell? Aren't you gonna be really surprised or angry at yourself or at anyone who treats a child like this? This is outrageous. I hope you agree. Even though this person, or yourself in this case, is not trying to harm the child, and you're trying to care for it, and you're trying to protect it from bigger harm, but it translates into almost like a child abuse. I would be mind blown. I would be enraged. I would be going crazy trying to rescue the kid from this parent who is apparently in his or her mind trying to save the kid or protect the kid, but is totally abusing the child, abusing its future and the growth, the psychological part of it. I mean, this is just like a regular child abuse, right? I hope we're understanding each other right now, and you would never do something like this to a child that your friend trusted you with. But you're doing this to yourself. It's the same thing, isn't it? I need you to understand this part, that you cannot treat yourself like this. If you would not do something like this to someone else, why would you do it to your inner child? You're the only caregiver that inner child has. Because this is not gonna end well. You already know this, right? Stories like this end with runaway kids, or using drugs, getting knocked up, just all the negative stuff and all the sad stories. And it may not be as dramatic in your case, hopefully, but regardless, this is not going to end well. Simply because your inner child, your inner self, your deeper self needs more love. Maybe you don't have this kind of extreme of a problem, but how do you know that you do have this problem? Well, you can kind of look at yourself and see how you treat yourself. Like, do you always postpone something that has to do with your pleasure? Like, you may promise something to yourself, like, as soon as I'm done with this, I will take a vacation, or I will do XYZ, whatever. And when the time comes, you never have time for it. Or you might feel guilty. I was like, I can't spend these on myself. I can't buy these for myself. That's just like, no, I shouldn't do that. That's irresponsible, or that's selfish. I do this all the time, and this is very common. Or maybe you have this in different flavor. For example, you're never satisfied with your work. You work. You invest so much time in a project, or you have these sleepless nights. But then, regardless if that project or your goal is completed or not, it's the same thing. You're never happy with it. You think you could have done better. You should have done better. And you're basically always unhappy with the results. That's another way of lacking self-compassion. It's the same thing if you translate it to the kid scenario, as that kid just keeps working and producing more and more work, and then showing you the results, and you say, no, that's bullshit, I don't like that, you should have done more, this is not enough. What do you mean? Like, I spent all this time and energy and blood and sweat, and nothing's enough, right? If somebody else treats you like this, you'd be outraged. But you treat yourself the same way and you think it's okay. It's not. You need to appreciate yourself. You need to appreciate your work. To be fair with yourself. And what I mean is just use common sense. Take yourself to a beach. Buy yourself a cup of coffee. Celebrate your little victories. I have this problem too. Like, this is so directly related to my own behavior. All these little victories in my own business that I achieve, just like never celebrate. I'm never happy with it, and even though like those are not small things, and I'm not gonna go into like personal stuff, but you need to celebrate your victories. You need to appreciate those like little things that you achieve, that you complete. You need to kind of pat yourself on the back sometimes. Like, you need to give yourself that little bit of love that, to your inner kid, to your inner child that works so hard to get the results and meet those deadlines or complete those goals that you worked so hard for. It's very important. Another way of neglecting yourself and lacking self-compassion is not investing in yourself. It's a little bit different, but it's really the same thing. That you don't appreciate yourself enough, that you never sign up for a course. Go ahead and sign up for that coding bootcamp, or for that self-improvement class. Sign up for that nursing program or fashion class that you always wanted to attend, or cooking class. Because that is investment in yourself. That is extremely important. And if you don't have belief and self-love enough for you to trust yourself and invest in yourself, you will always stay on that same level and will never advance, simply because you're lacking self-compassion, self-love. And those are little things that are very important to know what is healthy for self-compassion, because you very easily can go on the opposite extreme, because it's a spectrum, right? And at some point you're losing the self-compassion and going into self-destructive self-love. It's not self-love anymore. It's just like indulgence and spoiling yourself. The same thing if that child that you're caring for is asking you for a whole bunch of chocolate and Twinkies and all these, candies all day long. You're not going to be a responsible caregiver if you just fulfill every tantrum this kid throws at you, right? You have to use your common sense and say, hey, that's not going to serve you well. That is actually going to be destructive for yourself. You will be able to, or you need to be able to, control and be reasonable and fair with yourself. That's what I meant fair when I was speaking about it earlier. So it's not always being very soft with yourself and like fulfilling any idea that just pops in your mind. In fact, the opposite is true. when it comes to your physical health, your inner child might say, oh, you know what, I deserve to slip in today, or I deserve not go for a run today. You need to be able to cut through the bullshit and force yourself as a good and reasonable and responsible caregiver to force yourself to go for the run, to go for that exercise, lift those weights. Just basically force yourself to do what is right. You need to be self-compassionate in a direct, responsible, and sometimes tough and cold way as well. So basically, you just have to be a reasonable parent to yourself. Because otherwise, that inner child will lose respect towards you, which is the self-respect. And I spoke about this in my previous video. Please check that out. And this is extremely important. You need to make sure that the inner kid, the inner child, or your inner self does not lose self-respect. So there you have it, my friend. You now have another very important piece of that puzzle that all of us are trying to solve. We're grinding towards the freedom. True self-compassion is one major part of the freedom. So thank you very much. I will see you again later soon. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Bye.